Most of us know the frustration of a bad commute. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and it lingers for the rest of the morning. Now imagine that same drive, but you're doing 200 miles per hour, and the person inches away is actively trying to take your job. In Formula One, your teammate is your only true benchmark. You are handed the same chassis, the same engine, and the same set of tires. If they beat you, the data proves it isn't the car, it's you. The sport operates on a brutal timeline. If you are consistently slower than the person in the identical machine, your value to the team evaporates. In this paddock, second best is a precursor to professional extinction. Speed is only the baseline. To stay at the top, a champion has to do more than just drive. They have to systematically dismantle their teammates' confidence until there is nothing left. In 2007, a 22-year-old rookie named Lewis Hamilton arrived at McLaren for his debut season. He was paired with Fernando Alonso, the reigning back-to-back world champion. Alonso had signed with the team expecting an understudy he could easily manage, not a threat to his throne. Within 4 races, Hamilton was leading the championship. He had a choice: play the role of the secondary driver to keep the peace, or fight the champion and risk being cast out of the team entirely. By the summer, the relationship had turned into open psychological warfare. During qualifying in Hungary, Alonso deliberately held his car in the pit box, blocking Hamilton and preventing him from completing a final lap. The move backfired. It signaled to Hamilton that talent alone wouldn't win. He needed absolute ruthlessness to survive. By the end of the year, Hamilton had matched the champion's points and forced Alonso to terminate his contract and leave the team. Years later, Hamilton entered the most dominant stretch of his career at Mercedes, partnered with his childhood friend, Nico Rosberg. Because their Mercedes was so much faster than the rest of the grid, they were isolated. Their only competition was each other, and that constant daily friction turned a lifelong friendship into a toxic struggle for survival. It reached a breaking point at the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix. Neither driver would yield through the first few corners, and they violently collided, knocking both cars out of the race on the first lap. Rosberg was forced to extremes to keep up. He hired sleep specialists and obsessed over every waking minute, effectively rebuilding his entire life around the single goal of beating Hamilton. The toll was immense. Rosberg finally won the title in 2016, but he retired immediately after the season ended. He had won the championship, but the psychological price of racing Hamilton was so high that he walked away from the sport entirely at just 31 years old. Between 2017 and 2020, Hamilton won 4 straight titles. Mercedes was so dominant that winning had become a systemic process, a repetitive routine that left the team vulnerable to a different kind of threat. That threat arrived in 2021 with Max Verstappen. He wasn't interested in the established hierarchy. He was a hyper-aggressive disruptor in a Red Bull car that could finally fight back. Their season was defined by high-speed impacts at Silverstone and Monza, as Hamilton fought to repel a challenger who refused to give an inch. The battle ended in a controversial finale in Abu Dhabi. A late safety car procedure, executed outside the standard regulations, allowed Verstappen to overtake Hamilton on the final lap and take the title. It was a catastrophic loss that broke Hamilton's streak of dominance and signaled the end of the era he had personified for a decade. For the next 2 years, the dominance vanished. Hamilton endured back-to-back winless campaigns in 2022 and 2023, as Mercedes struggled with new technical regulations, leaving their star driver stuck in the midfield. Most athletes at 40 would have accepted the decline. Instead, Hamilton made the radical decision to leave Mercedes and join Ferrari for 2025, only to face his most difficult season yet, finishing the entire year without a single podium. But he didn't exit. He spent the winter of 2026 collaborating with team principal Fred Vasseur to push for specific innovations on the car. That persistence finally paid off at the 2026 Barcelona Grand Prix, where he took his first victory in Ferrari red. Survival at the highest level requires more than just holding on. It requires the willingness to burn down your old successes to rebuild yourself from scratch. The cost of Hamilton's record-breaking career is visible in the trail of broken friendships and bitter rivalries he left behind. The next time you're stuck in traffic, frustrated by a commute, think of the driver in the red Ferrari. Speed isn't just about how fast the machine can go. It's about how much of your own humanity you're willing to leave on the track to keep it there.